So, Mike, what do you make of what we saw overnight from these new wins from former Vice President Joe Biden and what that means? It seems like path to the nomination, no?
Well, last Tuesday, the most used word in the world was momentum. And pundits are using momentum to describe what's going on. But what's the definition of momentum? And so we've been actually able to quantify and decode what does momentum mean, looking at the physics definition of mass times velocity. So what happened over the last week is that Joe Biden, out of nowhere, he always had mass. He never had velocity. He was a flat line until he got to South Carolina. He wins. The whole Democratic Party sort of gives him velocity. Klobuchar, Buttigieg, Bloomberg, all support him. He gets velocity, wins pretty decisively on Super Tuesday. Bernie Sanders had a bad week, lost his momentum. A coronavirus comes, can't engage and get anybody to listen to his campaign. People keep coming behind Biden. He's done nothing. The Biden campaign hasn't changed one bit. It's just all the momentum has moved his way, and Sanders just can't get it back. And so when we look at our momentum score, which is mass times velocity, we see that Sanders' momentum is dropping, Biden's momentum is going up, and that's how you win in politics.
You got to have it go up at the right time.
You've got to have momentum on election day,
right?
Or you lose.
And these key delegate races. Jim, if I can bring you back in, why are we not seeing any Biden bounce this morning? Shouldn't the markets be a little relieved that Sanders' momentum is waning a bit?
Yes, that's a great question, and I think I finally figured it out. Last night, every time the headline came out that Biden won another primary, the S&P would get about a 10-point bounce, but then not follow through and eventually leave it. And I remember we like to think in a psychology of Sanders is bad for the market. That must mean Biden is good for the market. And I don't think that's the equation here. I think the market was saying Sanders is bad for the market. If he's going to be out of the equation, then Biden is neutral to the market. Then it just becomes a non-story, and the market goes back to concentrating on oil and coronavirus and the negative things that it's been concentrating in the past. I think that we often fall into that trap, and I don't think it's always accurate. I think now Biden just means we can ignore this, and I think the market feels he's more of a, would be more of a caretaker president than anyone who would shock the market one way or the other. And I think you got to throw the Fed in there, too. If the market's saying that Biden's policies would be a little less business-friendly than Trump, but a lot more so than Sanders, and then the Fed could possibly make up the difference and buoy the stock market.
Erin, you're nodding here.
Yeah, so I really think if you summarize it as Sanders goes away, you're taking away one more negative, but it's not that Biden is such a great positive. He's more of a neutral, right, for stock market investors. So, again, you're just not going to get that bounce. You're just sort of eliminating one more negative. But we still have all these great big fears to worry about as this virus hits earnings. So I think that's why we're not seeing so much of a positive. It just could be potentially worse if Sanders was leading.
Got it. Mike, what should we be looking forward here? What other momentum things should we be watching as we move closer to the nomination?
We have two major momentum issues. One is, okay, so Biden now, for all effective purposes, is going to get the nomination. He's got an insurmountable lead, unless it was a major correction, which I don't think is going to happen. So it's now Biden as the nominee. We also have a coronavirus, which has a significant momentum and continues to build. Over the weekend, I watched coronavirus go from a 46 to a 53. I knew that Monday was going to be a messed up day because the whole weekend we were thinking about. So as Corona has momentum, politics is actually going to go second. The markets are going to be. We're not going to really be thinking about politics, which is going to give Biden and Trump a free ride on the political sides until we get the Corona issue, because it's already affected millions of people. Maybe it hasn't infected, but coronavirus is here, and that uncertainty that is permeating, do I have it, do I not have it? We're just starting to see that momentum. And I think that's the major trend that we're going to see in the political landscape. Second of all, we really don't know what Biden's going to be about.
Right.
He's unchecked right now, and he's going to be unchecked by Sanders. And so we'll find out more where he's going.